Hello again, my students, and today we're going to create a cartoon bear. Let's just call him Happy Bear. This will be an exercise so that we'll be able to apply one of the things that we just learned from our previous lectures. Although from our previous lectures, such as Octo Boy, we just made some applications already on that portion there. But no worries, we're going to create some applications here as well. First, we're going to create the shape of the head of Happy Bear here. First, we're going to first make the eyes of this bear. I mean the ears of the bear first. Now, first things first, we're just going to create some of the basic shapes of the bear. Now, first, okay, I'm always saying first. Okay, now, we're just going to create the eyes for now, and then we're going to duplicate the eyes. Now we have to duplicate it. Okay. The duplication is just for the means to create this pupil of the eyes of this bear. Then afterwards, we're going to duplicate it once more. And then we're going to create this highlight on the eyes. There, as you can see here. Then group it once more. I mean, we're just going to we're going to group it. And then we're going to duplicate it. Move it to the other side. And there. Now we can see two eyes staring at the screen. Now, we're going to create the nose of Happy Bear. Okay. Now it's almost rhyming as Flappy Bird. Okay. Now we're going to make a little bit of a tiny shape here. I'm just going to put a shape over this, over the shape of this circle here, so that we can make this half circle of a nose for the bear. Now, once we create the shape, we're going to try to turn this into the same dark color as it is. Now, just going to get the color. Alright. There. A new trick. Now, afterwards, we're going to place this between the nose, between the eyes. Alright. Now, once we have done that, we'll be able to create now we're going to try to create the mouth of the bear. For now, we're just going to make a few modifications and changes so that we'll be able to make this a little bit symmetrical. On the outside point of view, it looks like a tiny black ball that has a smiling face on it, but now we just imagined it. Now it looks like a smiling black ball with eyes, but now it has ears. Now we're just going to flip this up here at the other side. Now, Flappy Bird. Okay, Flappy Bird. Happy Bear is now almost done with its shape. Now, we're going to use some of these tools that we just used from our previous lecture, which is this one here. And now we're going to use it for creating the mouth of the Happy Bear. Okay. Now we're going to place this mouth over just below the nose. Well, obviously the nose. And then that's the same. In order to create a symmetrical shape, we're going to duplicate it, and then we're going to flip it horizontally. And then we're going to move it to the right, so that we'll be able to make this. Okay. Now we created the bear's head. Now we're going to create the bear's body. Now, we're just going to create the tiny hole of the bear's ears, just to add some flavor into it. Now, just going to place this diagonally on the line here. We're just going to widen it a bit, just to create the best shape possible. Afterwards, we're going to do the same on the other side of the bear's ear. On the other side of the bear. Now, just a few more. Okay, let's see what we can do with the adjustments. Okay. Now we're going to get, okay, I forgot to duplicate it. Now I just have to duplicate this, put it on the other side, and voila. Now, as you can see, this has a lot of references to, a lot of influences with different cartoons. This is, I tried to make it as basic as possible so that we'll be able to create, you'll be able to create this as easy as possible as well. This is just my way of teaching so that you'll be able to catch up. But no worries. You can make the proper modifications with the bear here. You can make adjustments, make an outline. But for now, I'm just going to make some of the basic shapes. We're going to use the basic shapes so that we can create this. There are different kinds of ways to create the bear. You can either draw it by the pen that we just used a while ago, as I did on the previous lectures, or we can use different kinds of methods here. By using resourcefulness, by being resourceful, we can be consistent. We can create consistency, and at the same time, we can create this this kind of creative solution when it comes to creating different kinds of solutions when it comes to building characters out of unconventional means. For example, right now we're going, instead of using the drawing pen, we're using basic shapes to create the character. This would save time in creating the limbs properly, and at the same time, we're able to create it at a faster rate, as you can see here. Okay. On the previous lecture, when it comes to the Octoboy, I just showed you how to create the shape by using the modification, by using the pen tool, that modifying tool that I just used. Right now, I'm just going to use some of the basic shapes so that I can show you faster and so that you'll be able to create designs quickly. This is one of the best and efficient ways of creating designs quickly. But if you want complicated shapes or of whatnot, you can always use the pen. It depends on your need, and it depends on what are your strengths and weaknesses. But no worries, it's just a matter of preferences when it comes to creating these designs. As of now, I'm building the bear into something of the shape of that, as if it's sitting down. Now, we just have to make this portable. I'm just going to make the paw prints for the bear, and I'm going to duplicate the same size of the paw print. Okay, I'm just going to make the fingers and the thumb, the basic cartoon fingers and thumbs, basically. Now, we can still make some few changes. Okay. Now we're going to move it to the right. As you can see, it's the thumb now. And alright, we're almost done. And we're just going to add, there's always a time that you can always use, improvise certain designs and objects, ornaments around the design that you're making. You can always do something creative and something fun. Right now, I'm doing something is trying to imagine the bear trying to swing, trying to sit down on a swing. There's an exercise that you can always do is to try to picture out what you want to draw. Picture it out first with the utmost focus and concentration. But if you can't, create elaborate details with your imagination, it's alright. You can always start with the basic shape, the basic parts of what you want to draw. Create a draft, create hundreds of drafts if you like. Because when it comes to creating design, having a lot of different kinds of styles, types, and designs and drafts will really help you discover something extraordinary, or something that will help you create better designs. Well, your first draft most of the time, your first draft will not be the best draft that you will ever have. Sometimes draft will take time when it comes to the 15th, the 20th, or the 30th draft design that you made. But most of the time, it's still in your decision to create the best possible drafts, or possible design prototypes that you can create. It's always up to you, and it's always up to your decision to create it. But no worries, you don't have to. Don't fear in making mistakes, and don't fear to fail, because failing is part of the learning process. It's the crucial part, or you can improve better. But that doesn't mean you have to fail. You have to fail consistently. You just have to learn from your mistakes. If you did something right, no worries. Don't try to elaborate it more if it works. But always remember to consistently try to improve your strengths. I mean your weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses. Or if you have weaknesses that you have difficulty trying to improve or overcome, always have something of a substitute or something that you can use in order to mitigate your weaknesses. Sometimes there are people who aren't good at making straight lines. So here's one example that I can tell you. There are certain artists who are not really good at making straight lines or making perfect curves. So, yes, it's alright that they could take time in practicing it. Yes, it is an option to practice in making it perfect. But there is also unique solutions when it comes to design obstacles. You can always use leverage when it comes to designing, because some of the best artists use leverage, such as Leonardo da Vinci. What I mean of leverage, meaning things that will make your design process easier, but it brings out the best product out. It releases or produces the best results. Leonardo da Vinci has a little bit of problem when it comes to there was a certain period that is when Leonardo da Vinci is not really good at creating drawings and whatnot. That's because there was a particular time he's not really good at drawing. But there are some things that you need to do sometimes. So his best solution is there's one thing that when it comes to drawing, it's a practice, but there is another solution. Reference. He uses references in order to picture out the best possible scenarios, because sometimes there's a limitation to your imagination when it comes to creating design. But no worries, that's not a weakness. It's a sign of humility and a sign of opportunity when it comes to creating design. Because Leonardo da Vinci knew that he can't imagine everything into one tiny bit in one go. That would be God mode to almost every design artist. Leonardo da Vinci uses uses reference in order to speed up the process of imagining a certain scenario, in order to make it natural, and then try to compile it with his creativity. Mitigating the weakness is not a weakness at all. It is an opportunity when it comes to creating art. Right now, as you can see, even though it will take some time when it comes to creating these blocks or this swing, if I'm going to use the pen tool, the weakness there is it will take some time. But if I use these shapes, if I use simple vector shapes, I'll be able to I'll make the half the time in creating the design that I want. Because right now, what the design that I'm just making is something that is purely simple, but good to look at, good to look at. But it will be it will save time when it comes to creating these designs. And okay, we're just going to make a few adjustments here so that we'll be able to finish it. I'm just going to check for the finishing touches so that we'll be able to make the best of this design here. As you can see, the happy bear and the swing is almost complete. Applied with the swing, the strings, and everything in between. Okay, that sounded like alright. Now, we're going to save it first, because most importantly, always remember to save. Because if you don't save your files, it will be a very bad pain in the neck if you lose all that file and all that hard work in one go. And once again, I'll see you in the next lecture, and happy design.